gentlemen, welcome to the Skyrim random class Imperial Battlemage build with Impa. And the first thing that we find when we enter Whiterun is immediately to turn around and head back out. This is because that horse that was found in the other episodes, well, he is a quote-unquote borrowed horse. And because of that, he is going to try to return to his original location. And since that original location is a random event spawn point, he's just going to disappear entirely. So might as well get some use out of him while we can. But first, let's do some looting around these stables. There's a couple salt pile in here, so that's a good find. But mostly this is going to be spent grabbing ingredients and whatnot from around the Whiterun area. So the first thing we're going to do is grab some of these potatoes that I guess I missed earlier on, and some arrows from the giant because he's there, and there you are, available. Even though they don't sell for anything right now, after a couple of speech perks, essentially they become 1 gold per arrow, and they weigh nothing. So it's a good deal. And now let's head over to Honey Brew Meadery, semi-corral the horse inside of this pen. But Honey Brew Meadery has a bunch of these barrels that contain stealable and lootable honey brew mead. A couple of butterflies and some flowers. It's a good spot for butterflies. But the main thing about that is the honey brew mead. We need one of them to hold on to so that way we can grab whatever that necklace is that the revelers can give you. As well as they sell for a decent amount of money. And they're free, lootable, and eventually they respawn. But here around the crossroads, nice bunch of flowers and butterflies. If you head up that way towards the waterfalls a bit too far, you'll encounter some mud crabs, and they can be kinda dangerous. Well, luckily we can corral the horse back here inside of this little pen while we do some looting. And nothing in the mill, unfortunately. And just heading down the river, check to see if there's any other ingredients, and heading over to grab that Nern root under the bridge, at least to get a little peace and quiet on the journey. But now once we grab all of these flowers, we're going to be heading north, and that will take us to White Watchtower. Even except after we get much more cabbage, because 90 was definitely not enough. But in any case, there are 2 reasons we're heading up in this direction. Number 1 is because, well, there is a free speech check. I don't think you can fail that one. So that is a good thing to get a little bit of speech leveling up. And these farms around here have delicious leeks, which are one of the more uncommon ingredients for vegetable soup. It's either those or tomatoes, which tend to have those are the ones that tend to make it so that you can't craft vegetable soup because they're not too common. Especially tomatoes, even though there were some right there. And that's because they, the tomatoes, you can't really grow them, so you either have to loot them, buy them, or find them randomly in barrels. But yeah, butterflies are one of those ingredients that are a little bit tricky to get because they only show up during sunny weather and in certain locations. They're replaced by Luna moths at night. And let's see, I do believe the blue butterfly wing is good for creating restore health potions, and the monarch or regular butterfly wing, I think that has some uses for potions related to this build. Not 100% sure, and I'd have to check. So this White Watchtower, it's a nice little place. You've got the bandits trying to launch a nice effectual raid against the guards, and they will be put down pretty quickly. So the chance is not that bad to get a little bit of random equipment, usually for armor or some iron weapons. We could toss that over to Belethor or Adrian to get a little bit of money. And since the guards are going to handily put them down, it's pretty much free. So now we just park the horse and get to looting this little area. They don't really mind. And I think up here in this bag there's some nice tomatoes. But everything else is kind of minimal. Just grab the decently valuable stuff from the bandits. Just just got some Imperial swords on the shelf, so they're not exactly great. Can't unlock the chest. More tomatoes, cabbage, and salt pasta. Fine. Oh good, and yeah, it's Mr. Fugitive. But since we're actually grabbing the horse, we're going to miss out on that hunter who's going to come around trying to ask about it. Which means that I think the real high boots of Resist Frost, they're going to get sold, so that's a nice little amount of money. So continuing to head north, we're eventually going to come to Cicero and the Lorius Farm, both two important areas. First, Cicero, he has that, he's the one who gives us this quick little quest in order to go chat with Lorius at the farm to fix a wagon wheel. I guess Cicero needs a little bit of help playing Oregon Trail. Yep, so we just drop off the horse, grab a couple of flowers because they're there, and we get to chatting towards Cicero.
My poor mother, unmoving, at rest, but too still. Oh, poor Cicero is stuck. Can't you see? I was transporting my dear, sweet mother. Well, not her. Her corpse. She's quite dead. I'm taking Mother to a new home, a new crypt, but... Ah! Wagon wheel! Damnedest wagon wheel! It broke. Don't you see? Oh, yes! Yes, the kindly stranger can certainly help. Go to the farm, the Lorius farm, just over there, off the road. Talk to Lorius. He has tools. He can help me, but he won't. He refuses. Convince Lorius to fix my wheel. Do that, and poor Cicero will reward you with coin. Gleamy, shiny coin.
That's actually a pretty decent amount of coin as well. And since the horse is traveling back south down the road, it gives a little bit of time to grab all of the flowers and stuff that was unable to be picked up while on horseback. Which is actually pretty good because, well, Tundra Cotton, I believe, also can make a decent potion for this run as well, or a couple of them. So it's a bit more useful than, a bit more useful than usual. And yeah, this horse can get pretty far away. But, it's always time to catch butterflies because, why not? They also give you 2 wings per butterfly, which makes complete sense. Because butterflies have 2 wings. Unless they don't. But yeah, traveling back to the Lorius farm, we're just gonna give a chat to Mr. Lorius up there. And he is going to eventually agree to help Cicero. Well, first thing is there's no real place to corral this guy, so hopefully the cows would do a little bit to block him. But yeah, they just block us instead.
Oh, for the love of Mara,
so
what
check
now?
out the barrels. Man, people like to put apples and flour
fella?
into barrels.
Tell me something I don't know. Crazy fool's
Cicero
already asked me
needs
about
help.
5 times. Seems he's not satisfied with my answer. Why can't he just leave us alone?
Now this is 6.
Pay me? You think this is about
would
money?
be,
Have you seen
satisfied
the man?
with your answer.
He's completely out of his head. A jester here in Skyrim? Ain't been a merry man in these parts for 100 years. And he's transporting some giant box. Says it's a coffin, and he's going to bury his mother. Mother, my eye. You could have anything in there. War contraband, weapons, skooma. Ain't no way I'm getting involved in any of that. What? And just who in Mara's name
but the
are you
outcome's
anyway?
even worse.
Come here, telling me my business. And for what? To help a fool?
Real Impa.
Look, Yes, you're right,
You're actually the fool.
Fella might be nutters, might not. But fact is, he needs help. I turned him away. What kind of a man am I, huh? Look, thanks. And I'm sorry for my unneighborly reaction. If you talk to Cicero, you be sure to tell him I'll be down to help soon.
Sure thing. And now back to the horse, because yeah, he keeps walking away, which is why we're gonna go grab Frost, I think pretty much next episode or so. So that way the horse does not walk away, but instead, well, pushes you off the corpses you are trying to loot, and picks a fight with anything that happens to move, and shows up as a red dot on the compass. So, well, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. They are called nags, after all.
Poor mother!
So let's give
home seems
tell
so
him the good news.
very far. You did? He has? Oh, stranger! You have made Cicero so happy, so jubilant and ecstatic, but more, even more, my mother thanks you. Here for your troubles, shiny clinky gold, a few coins for your kind deed, and thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome, Cicero. Can you please put down this thesaurus? My horse is escaping. And that guard over there has to have the most boring patrol route in all of Skyrim, because all he does is walk back and forth on the road in front of Loria's farm, and I'm not sure if he disappears after you chat with Cicero and Thorius, or... well, it's actually a missable quest if you happen to join the Dark Brotherhood. Cicero actually manages to get to the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary in Falkreath without you having to help fix the wagon wheel. So trying to get off the horse, and apparently it doesn't want to get off because dropping out from the left side puts us into a fence. This place has like 6 wheat, but what's more important is the whole mess of vegetable soup ingredients right here. The only thing missing is tomatoes, but those guys can't be grown in Skyrim for whatever reason. Yeah, maybe because of the harsh Skyrim winter climate. But there are a ton of leeks, potatoes, and a decent amount of cabbage. But since we've managed to get 90 already, and there seems to be an even more abundance of cabbage around, well, we can get a decent amount. And so I think the totals do come up to 9 cabbage, 14 potato, and 16 leek. So you can make at least 9 vegetable soups with just what you find there, assuming you get 9 tomatoes, which is cool. And now, once again, heading to go catch that horse. But this time, it's pretty much just heading back to Whiterun. So, that is pretty okay. And after that, we will pretty much be saying goodbye to him, because he will be heading back to wherever despawn horses go. Maybe some sort of mysterious cell somewhere out there in the world that we can't see. And this is a little bit of sort of pointless min-maxing. If you turn iron ore into iron ingots and actually leather into leather strips, especially if you have multiple leather per hide, you get a few extra septums. So it's not great for min-maxing later on, but in the beginning of the game, or a couple of extra coins could work. Yeah, that's okay.
Well, we've got small weapons as well as big. Maces, daggers, that sort of thing. The finest weapons and armor.
And what's been annoying is that War Maidens and Adrienne seem to have inventories that replicate a lot more frequently than I've noticed in the past, which is kind of annoying because sometimes Warbear over there is selling good stuff, and that gets overwritten after you talk to Adrienne. That's annoying.
I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. Everything's for sale. Some may call this junk.
Right here, just grabbing some more of those while we're waiting for the wood chopping block to free up. The Circle of Minor Alchemy. kind of would have thought about it, but did eat all of the money that we currently have. And I definitely forget to take that off next time I'm going running around town and wind up getting slaughtered.
Aye, that I do. I've got to. If I hope to be as good as your remain someday. In fact, I just
it's on
it's a sword. I made it for Jarl.
legendary difficulty.
That
could be the difference between getting one shot and maybe barely surviving an attack from something. But yeah, we'll get Adrian's sword to deliver up to the steward up in Dragon's Reach, because that's useful. And the wood chopping block is free, which is great. So basically, if you chop some wood, you'll be able to talk to Hulda in the Bannered Mare and get a free rune, because she considers you a friend if you just give her some wood, which is great, and it kind of a double entendre. Yeah, maybe that's why she's looking to sell the end to Isolde. But yeah, still level 1 as well, which is kind of okay. Speech is only 19, so, well, you need to grab, what is that thing called? The gift of charity to do some speech checks later. And there's a second, wood chopping block. So it was not really necessary to
how about shopping up some honest gold for honest work?
Do some buying and selling.
Let's sate that appetite,
And she has some salt pile, so that's good. And a blackbriar mead. Grab that.
Need anything else?
Just in case
let me know.
Falkreath Way, we can give that to the Jarl. Yep. What I need is to loot pretty much everything in your shop that isn't nailed down. So, yeah, anything of decent value, you can grab that. And there's some pretty good ingredients and stuff here. Idar cheese wheels can be used to make that, what is it, stew or something later? I'd have to look that up. But that requires moon sugar, so that'll take a little while. There's a decent amount of tomatoes in here too, so if you looted Loria's farm, you can make some of the vegetable soup with these tomatoes that you find here, just hanging around in bowls and stuff. Yep, and some leeks, some raw beef, and there's actually not too much back here aside from those fish barrels heading upstairs. There's just random loot and stuff, not too much, that you get from, I think it's probably Mikhail's, whatever, his and Sadia's room. So there's occasionally maybe something good. Salt pile's alright. And I think under here is the Thief of Virtue, which is a pretty good story if you want to read that or grab the summary of it. It has a nice little twist at the ending, and it deals with Nocturnal and a little bit of Daedra stuff, so nice little read. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna have to chop out these parts where I'm, reading through these books and stuff in later parts, because apparently I'm reading really slowly. But whatever. This will be fine for now. But good story.
Mind your manners and pay your bills, and you'll always be welcome.
Read it if you want.
Depends.
Or
Are you thirsty?
skip
Hungry?
it,
Both.
whatever.
No, please, no more questions.
And they both share the same inventory as well. So we'll get to grab the rest of the stuff, and this is actually going to put silver capacity after picking up some cheese, yeah.
We'll drive out the storm, folks.
And for some strange reason, Mabel's letter is still there. So maybe it's because Kristoff never got there yet. But either way, Fat walking up the stairs. And this is going to be the base for the time being. Grab the stuff off of the shelves so they don't get grabbed later. And everything inside as well, because they're just random stuff. I mean, if this was like Fallout 4, I'm pretty sure you could turn all of those into a sword enhancement, but we're not there yet. probably see something like that in Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever. So I mean, that does seem to be the way things are progressing. That each one of those games, they get improved, and those successes are translated to later games. And right here, this guy is going to be the ingredients shelf. And yeah, I get to put everything in there with only eating one more tapino.
This is a local favorite.
Fine in my book.
One of the first songs I ever.
This guy eventually is going to be the miscellaneous. Yep, this is going to be the weapons, armor, and I think I eventually turn this into a usable item, chest, drawer, whatever.
Ragnar the Red.
Yeah, the blacksmith's apron, the boots are supposed to be for running around town, but eventually those are going to get replaced by the fishing gear, because they all say fishing and will be grouped together nicely inside of the inventory. Here, I think I was almost going to start this as a random-ish miscellaneous drawer. Yeah, there goes the straw. But instead, this is going to be the food, and I believe, what is that, like iron ingots and other crafting stuff. Even though they're not going to get too much use, it could
Once
still be
was a
sold,
hero
and,
named
at least an orichalcum ingot would be totally useful for creating a Staff of Storm Atronach. Yep, and this is the miscellaneous one, so this is where the books and some of those other things that, there we go, the straw. So yep, put some torches, books, letters, and whatnot inside of the cabinet. Nothing bad in there. And now time to take a little nap, eventually, when I figure out how long I'm going to sleep. Eventually going to sleep. So yeah,
met the shield maiden Matilda, who said,
that'll be good. And thank you, Clockwhite.
Oh, you talking like
Just do some hopping across the beams on the table. I think this is one of the first times I actually did manage to get all the
We
way
Nords
over
are
there.
strong, and we're as tough as stone. But I'll bet you didn't know there's some of us that could have
So the thing is that depending on when you exit the bannered net, there'll be a traffic jam at the main entrance, so you can go out the side door by Sadia and the cooking spit, but we don't need to do that now. And a little bit of hop into the water, grab some Nordic barnacles, and for some reason there's a salmon just living in there. Don't know how the salmon can be living in there, but whatever. I guess someone just got a salmon, wanted to keep it fresh, and tossed it in there.
You say Helgen got hit by a dragon.
But yeah, it may not have exactly what salmon needs.
Dragons I can handle.
Yep. And now into Dragon's Reach.
World gone mad, I
To
say.
do the introductory Jarl stuff and progress the main quest line. Well, apparently Skyrim is obsessed with death, so that'll do it.
What's the meaning of this
So if you actually lead Jarleth down the length of the table, you can actually talk to the Jarl without speaking with her.
Come on then.
I guess
The
it
Jarl
saves a
will
little
want to
time.
speak to you personally.
But it's interesting and a little bit.
So, you were at Helgen. You saw
of course
this
you
dragon with your own eyes?
Damn you, Jarl. I just wanted to give the sword to
Should
that
have
old
guessed
guy over
Ulfric
there.
would be mixed up in this.
Yep, that dragon destroyed
What do you say now,
Helgen,
Prevent?
and as they were
Shall we
going to
continue
chop
to
off
trust in the
Ulfric's head.
strength of our walls against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate
Well,
danger.
he could fly over your
The Jarl
walls.
of Falkreath will view that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him. We should not...
I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my duties.
You go, Jarl.
That would be best. Well done. You sought
Slink
me out
away,
on your own
Preventus.
initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps. Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard.
I have no
He's
idea
been
what
looking
towns
into
you're
a matter
talking about,
related to
because
these dragons.
all we really did was just run from
of
Elgin,
dragons.
run to Riverwood,
Stay out
run
of
to
trouble,
Whiterun,
Imperial.
and ride around collecting ingredients. So if
The Jarl is,
that's what
as
you're
you can
looking
imagine,
for in a
very
hero,
busy.
Perhaps
I
we
can
could
assist you.
oblige.
From Adrian? Ah, this must be that weapon for the Jarl.
Yeah, here's a sword
Poor
for him.
girl. So eager to prove herself. I'll present it to Balgruuf when his mood is agreeable. Thank you. Please, take these few coins for services rendered.
Well, maybe if you decided to send troops to Riverwood instead of bitching about how the Jarl of Falkreath will take it as a provocation. So now, a little bit of time to loot Dragon's Reach of mostly the kitchen stuff. That's good. Yep. If you actually interact with all of those little flags on the map, you get map markers, so it could be useful if you want to grab a couple map markers for reference or whatnot. Not too necessary. And in the kitchen, we've got some delicious vegetable soup ingredients. Frost Miriam, garlic, which is very useful as it serves as a good ingredient and is necessary in the creation of beef stew, which there's a decent amount of that lying around here for raw beef anyway. Alright, our cheese wheel for the stuff, leave the fish, grab some boots, and then just checking downstairs. There's not really too much, but occasionally the barrels can give something kind of useful. I think in this one it's snowberries, but if it's something else, that is great. More tomatoes, more cabbage, and this area will play a part in a later quest for Methala. And how to make some vegetable soup. And judging by that, 71 leeks, so a whole bunch of vegetable soup. So that's 71 vegetable soup at level 1 with, what is we call it? With chasers of beef stew and venison stew. But this was just pretty much finishing up the stuff in here.
Farengar, I think I found someone who can help you
just
with your
to give the last check.
dragon
And now to speak
project.
with Farengar.
Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there. Straight to the point, eh? No need for tedious hows and whys.
Right.
I like that.
What am I
Leave
getting?
those details to your betters, am I right? I learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls
Yeah,
Barrow.
you with the devil.
A dragon stone, said to contain
Yeah,
a
you
map
deal
of
with
dragon
him,
burial
because the
sites.
devil's in the details.
Go to Bleak Falls Barrow. Find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber,
So why
and bring
do
it
you
to
know
me.
of this
Simplicity itself.
already? Did like Delphine run all the way here as soon as the rumors of dragons?
I believe I am, yes.
Or
Technically
Finn's
speaking,
mother
of course. The
started
city is also
yelling
home
about
to a
dragons
priest,
that she saw a
priestess,
dragon?
an alchemist, and I'm sure others who practice. Ah, that reminds me. Speaking of alchemists, I have some frost salts for Arcadia.
Right.
She asked me to obtain them for one of her potions. Would you be so kind as to deliver the frost salts for me? I'm sure Arcadia will provide some form of recompense. Good. You're clearly better suited than I am to carry out such a menial task.
Kind, no. Mercenary, yes, because she has a
Take a
lot
look.
of delicious ingredients to collect. See you later, Farengar. But let's see if we could grab anything from you. Like the Vagrant Robes. That's a neat little addition to the Anniversary Collection. Deciding whether or not to buy some of those destruction spells, but holding off on that for now. Eventually, shock will actually be kind of useful.
This is a
And
priority.
Farengar, here's all this
Anything
stuff.
we can use to fight this dragon.
Another wanderer.
It's found
You're
around
like my
Dragon
father's
Streets,
bird.
and so pay us
Yeah.
stuff. And one of those tinfoil hat things. Yeah, Sadia is Nelkir's mother, which is the reason why Balgruuf sneaks away to the Bannermere at night, because he's visiting Sadia.
I work with my mother.
Now it is
Everything's for sale.
going
Somebody
to
call this junk.
be
Me, I call them treasures.
storing stuff in the Banner Manor, selling stuff to Belethor, looting Arcadia's cauldron for some of those delicious ingredients, especially those 2 Canis root. They're somewhat difficult to find, but in a future episode I did find a root with a decent amount of Canis roots to collect, and it's relatively safe. There you go, Belethor. You can have all that crap.
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
Got something for just about everybody in here.
How did
Give
you
a holler
know?
if you have any questions. You look rather pale. Could be ataxia. It's quite a problem back home in Cyrodiil. Ah, splendid, splendid.
No, that's
it's for
just
a special
sunscreen.
brew I'm working on. A love elixir like none other. Maybe I'll test it on Farengar first. Oh, but I suppose you expect some compensation.
If you're trolling Farengar
these
with that,
potions
that
should
would be
suffice.
spectacular. If you're looking for love, I hope you like condescension.
Come back anytime if you need a remedy.
I think that invisibility potion's always there. But now, quick save, because there are some ingredients and potions and whatnot here that are listed as steel, and we don't want to do that. So, quick save just to revert if, you know, a misclick happens, and she gets mad, alerts the guards, and I don't really want to pay for any of these fines, especially if there's some sort of lousy flower. But yeah, down here there are 2 slaughterfish scales, which are useful if you're building a house and looking to create some stuffed slaughterfish. And yeah, if you jump back there, you can grab that chest. But yeah, it almost seemed like I was going to get stuck, but it didn't happen, so it was fine. Just too much upstairs, except for these potatoes under the bench. Hey, Arcadia. No, we're not always looting from you. Grab your shoes and some. Oh, we took our cheese and our tomatoes. Grab Canis root because it's there. Why not? Should have grabbed the M stool, but I missed that one.
Take a look around. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. Everything. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
And now drop off the rest of the stuff for Belethor. Just clear out the rest of the inventory and give him all of the potions. They're not really needed, and that's the first level up.
You know what's wrong with Skyrim
Yeah,
these days?
invisibility doesn't really work unless you're sneaking around. If you're just running around while invisible, people tend to find you pretty damn easily.
You're someone who
Here's
can
some
get
of that
things done.
min-maxing.
Got some good pieces.
By turning
Looking to
leather
protect
into leather
yourself
strips, you
or
get
deal
like
some damage.
a few extra septums, but it is pretty pointless in the long run in the main scheme.
Don't forget to check inside the
And there
shop.
go the guards running all the way to Riverwood.
Keep an eye out and get the secret to safety of the town is attacked.
You are loud,
Don't expect
Adrian.
the Cravens to start off the dragon by yourself.
And now to join
Those
the
two at it again.
companions. They're going to be useful, and
Go
we
wear 'em
need to
out.
get our steel battle axe. There's that fist fight on Legendary. You could sit there for a while watching them slug at each other. And on the right, you'll see a glass warhammer. It is decorative, unfortunately.
I haven't seen you
that
before,
would be an
have I?
amazing
Have we
pickup,
met?
but the devs were too fast. And I think that dark elf over there, he was slugging it out
It is our
with,
burden to bear, but we can overcome.
not a stone arm,
Half my
but
brother
he
and
beat you
I
downstairs.
But I don't know if the rest will go along quite so easily.
Leave that to me. A stranger comes to our hall. Would you now?
And that's the full conversation about that.
Let me have a look at you.
I want to join up.
Yes, perhaps. A certain strength of spirit.
Master, you're not truly considering accepting him.
I am nobody's master, Vilkas, and Last I checked, we had some empty beds in Jorvaskr for those with a fire burning in their hearts.
Apologies. But perhaps this isn't the time. I've never even heard of this outsider.
Sometimes the famous come to us. Sometimes men and women come to us to seek their fame. It makes no difference. What matters is their heart.
And their arm.
Of course. How are you in battle, boy?
I mean, I can get a Deja heart from the left.
So. This is Vilkas. He will test your arm. Vilkas, take him out to the yard.
Kinda flimsy, but I can do a little bit of damage. He sounds so disappointed. What's really cool about that spot is they are actually introducing the main focus and plotline of the Companion's questline right there in the beginning, and, well, no one really is the wiser. And unfortunately, until Vilkas tests your arm and you go and drop off his sword to Yorlin and give Aela a shield, all this stuff is
the old man said to have a look at you.
And, well, don't want to do that just yet.
Let's do this.
They charge
just have a few
bunch.
swings at me so I can see your form. Don't worry, I can take it. Never should have come here. There you go. Not bad. Next time won't be so easy.
Cool, thanks for
you
the
might just make it.
skill increase there,
now,
Vilkas.
You're still a wealth
and
to
it's
us,
a good idea to put a little quick save
so you
that,
do what
just
we tell
in case
you.
he decides to go
Here's
back
my
road.
sword. Go take it up to Yorlin to have it sharpened. And be careful.
Technically, even when I am
probably worth more
harbinger
than
of
you
the
are.
companions, you will tell me what to do. Yeah, I think that's just a regular sword, so I think whatever armor I have is actually more expensive than that
What
sword.
brings you
so
here?
You're wrong, Vilkas.
I'm guessing you're the
Hey, Yorland,
newcomer.
what's up? This sword?
Oh, don't worry too
I
much
get
about it.
companions.
They were all whelps once. They just might not like
Yeah.
to talk about it. And don't always just do what you're told. Nobody rules anybody in the companions.
Hazing the new guy, huh?
Well, I'm not sure how they've managed it, but they have. No
How's that
leader
work?
since Ysgramor. Kodlak is the harbinger, and he's a sort of advisor for the whole group, but every man is his own. Every woman, her own. Not actually a companion myself, but none of them know how to work a forge properly, and I'm honored to serve them. My name is Yorlin Greymane. I work the Skyforge. Best steel in all of Skyrim. All of Tamriel. I have a favor to ask. I've been working on a shield for Aela. My wife is in mourning, and I need to get back to her soon. I'd be much obliged if you could take this to Aela for me. That's a good man.
Yeah, I'll do that. And you go back to work, not back to your wife. But you do give us a chance to loot your stuff and
Got a lot of steel to shape. Gods be praised.
And unfortunately, Yorland, you are not going to get a Skyforge Steel Warhammer when we get a free one of those later on. So that's annoying. There you go. Take back your random stuff. Now back inside of the back inside of Jorvaskr, speak to Aela, and once again, giving these guys out here a check to see if I can grab anything, and not just yet. So terrible. Can't even grab anything. Goodbye. But regardless, back into Jorvaskr, heading downstairs, to the right, and then to the left. Yup, can't even grab those cabbages. And I think it was like 500 septums in order to buy our way back into the companions. And that's after I took that unusual gem in Kodlak's room, which was not marked as steal, but he took it as stealing, so I was in another playthrough, and
If you wish to hunt with me, your feet need to be quick and your eyes quicker.
And Skior.
Ah, good. I've been waiting for this. Are you new here?
I told you. This is the whelp Vilgus mentioned.
Ah, yes.
Yep.
I heard you gave him quite
And yeah,
a
more
thrashing.
tinfoil hat stuff. Skior isn't actually a werewolf.
Do you think you
All
could
of the
handle
other
Vilgus in a
companions
real fight?
in the circle who have the beast blood,
Ah, a man
they
of
have
action.
like
Here, let's have
pale
Farkas
gray
show you where
eyes.
you'll be resting your head.
Skior has one
Farkas.
blind eye, and the other one is, I think it's blue, so he might not actually be a werewolf,
Of course we did, Ice Brain.
even though he does wear the
Show
wolf
this
armor.
new blood where the rest of the whelps sleep.
And it could explain why
hello.
later
I'm
on
Farkas.
he gets
Come, follow me.
iced by the silver hand, but
I'm just a
wasn't
servant, dear.
skinned and
You
didn't
want to talk to one of the
transform,
companions, I'm sure.
that
But they're good people.
could be a thing.
They challenge us to be our best.
I would like to
Nice
talk
to
to
have a new
companions, but
face
you were in
around.
my way.
It gets boring here sometimes. I hope we keep you. This can be a rough life. Alright, so here you are. Looks like the others are eager to meet you. Come to me or Ayala if you're looking for work. Once you've made a bit of a name for yourself,
They really
Skior and Vilgus might have things for you to do.
You're just gonna
Good
give
luck.
me a job
Welcome
anyway.
to the companions. By the way,
bit of a name,
if
I
you're
tend
looking
to
for
do
something
one
to
thing.
do, we've gotten a letter about someone needing some muscle right here in Whiterun Hold. I don't know what the fight is about, and that's not our business anyway. I just need you to go out there, look tough, and scare this milk drinker into submission. No more than that. I don't want to hear about a killing, understand? Go. Bring honor to yourself and the companions.
Sure thing.
By the way,
This actually
if you're looking
shows
for something
how
to do,
far the companions have fallen. That they are pretty much acting as hired thugs, which may be those hired thugs that get sent after you if you steal something. They could be just the companions, remnants of the companions, or something like that. Go away, Farkas. We gotta loot, and we don't want you here for that, to see our disreputable actions.
The latest recruit, right? Wait,
And there's not too much in any of the bedrooms because they are all
I'm still trying to figure out why Skior let you in the first place. I didn't
owned
forget
by
anything.
the various companions, so that's
It's a
what's
circle
not
officer, you want to
this
sworn for a second.
deal. Yeah, he let me in because I could open the door. And I think it was more Farkas than anyone else. We have pretty much the elves here. Tomatoes, potatoes, venison. So there we go, some raw beef, salt pile. Some decent stuff down here. Mostly ingredients and whatnot. Nothing of true septum value. But up here, we get to loot all of these items, especially that steel battle axe and the warhammer. Warhammers are pretty much going to be the main two-handed weapon of the run, depending on if there's some nice enchanted other two-handed weapon. Could switch over to those. But the warhammer has a better stagger rate, and it's very useful in that regard, especially on legendary, where these guys can take a ton of hits. Battle Axe has a moderate, say about like 50-50 estimation, and the greatsword doesn't really stun at all, but it swings a bunch faster, so you can get a couple more hits in, and probably can block and parry a little bit better than with the sluggishness of the warhammer Battle Axe. Here you go. You probably made these for the companions, so buy them back from me. There you go. Now heading back to the Bannered Man to put stuff away. Suit up. There you go. Have a gold piece. Should have done that before to get a little bit better prices, but oh well. Plus 10 speechcraft doesn't do too much for the prices. And speech skill tree and those perks are actually better.
No, please. I really don't have any money, Ray. I'll give you 10 seconds tomorrow. Just don't hit me. It's no fun getting pushed around all the time. Well, I used to sneak out at night and try to take over the big ox in the Greyman's yard. And me and Mila used to climb up on the roof of Dragon's Reach and look for birds' eggs. But I don't do that stuff anymore. Father keeps catching me and then I get in trouble. Bye. What are you looking at? I'm not fighting you. No, even if you are out. My friend Lava, the seer, she says things will get better for me once I start sticking up for myself. Alright, I can't fight. I can
Yeah, I wanted to see if we could start that off here, but, well, for whatever reason it doesn't want to start. So that's an easy way to get I think a favor quest done in Whiterun. Haha, now your cow can escape.
What? What are you looking at?
Yeah, this was the long way around to the banner there. But of course, stopping off at Belethor to pawn off the random nonsense that was picked up.
You come back.
Which there really isn't too much, which is great. And now back into the banner to wrap everything
Come
up.
on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
If it's work you're looking for, Hulda's the one to talk to.
Stadia, wake up here.
Yeah, but first a little bit of the cooking spit to grab a couple of beef stew. Because we have the ingredients for that. One of the neat little touches of Skyrim is that whenever you try to use this cooking spit when Sadia is still in the Bannered Mare, then
if you need more food,
Hulda
depends.
will tell her to come over and
Are
check
you thirsty?
on you. So
Hungry?
nice little touch.
Now please, no more questions.
And you don't have any more subtile. That's unfortunate. I didn't give you any questions. Now I am questioning. I'm questioning why you're questioning me about questions. So, yeah, this is just dropping everything off. Amassing a pretty decent collection of ingredients. The reason that alchemy is not being pursued right now and making a whole bunch of potions is that it will level up way, way, way too fast. And if you're not exactly set up for when bandit outlaws and higher ranking enemies come to start to spawn, you're kinda gonna get smashed pretty quickly. Especially if you've got a 2-on-1 situation. But eventually we will have someone on our side who will help. Not really a companion, but Staff of Storm Atronach is coming up. That's why we're holding onto that amethyst. It will be useful later. Soul gems to restore magic power to that staff. And here we go, quick level up. The first couple of levels is pretty much going to focus on increasing health to 150. And what do we call that? Juggernaut for heavy armor to boost defense, because you need to take hits. And right now I would think it was just deciding between heavy armor and fermented, and going with heavy armor first. Because that defense is kind of important, especially for those cinematic deaths that enemies can do for you, because they kind of just bypass anything that you're doing at the moment. Quick check of what we have. 10 vegetable soups, pretty good to carry around. And now it's just time to take some gets the well-rested bonus. Thank you, Clockwipe. And yeah, you can kind of see right down there how everyone is just heading out to the door, and there'll be a traffic jam there soon enough. I just was walking around seeing if there was anything else to set up beforehand, but not really. So this was episode 3 of Real Impa, the random Imperial Battlemage class. And next episode we're going to be heading towards Riften to grab ourselves a horse, complete a whole bunch of speech checks, and eventually make our way to the College of Winterhold at some point to grab a Staff of Storm Atronach to give us some much needed help, especially against that damn wounded Frostbite Spider and Bleak Falls Barrow. Yeah, on Legendary that guy is no pushover, so unless you want to spend like a while trying to battle him, but regardless, thank you for watching and have yourselves a good evening.